Okay, here we go. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it is. I hope it's good to be where you are, because it is certainly good to be here. My name is Baltimore Fats, and this is Mud City. No! Didn't nail it today. Let's hope I do better with the presentation. So, hello everyone. I hope everybody's doing well today. And I'm really excited to do this one, so I want to jump right in. But I want to start by introducing everyone to my good friend and my sister from another mother, Lady Bmore History here, or Mary D in the comment sections. And this is her webpage, and she is an amazing person who reached out to me after finding the Mud City channel, or the Mud City show, and saying she wanted to show me real Baltimore, and that's what we've been doing. And so in my mind, she's a real truther. She's hardcore about it, and the information that she shares is amazing on her webpage. So if you have any interest in like the history of Baltimore, or like the Catholicism and the Jesuits and things like that, check out her page. Okay, great information, hard researcher, amazing. And I love this image on her webpage with the airships. I think that's great. I'd like to find out more about this picture. So please, check out Lady Bmore History. It makes me want to change my name, because she said she didn't know what to call her webpage, and I said, how do you not call yourself Lady Baltimore with being born and raised here? I adopted the name, so lot of great information, hardcore truther, lovely lady. Check out her stuff. And she's supplied me with more information. I could keep my show running for years. She makes Mud City look downright silly. She really does. But she texted me on Monday evening and asked what I was doing Tuesday morning. Nothing. She drove by Hopkins building, and that was under construction, and she thought she saw dug up, below level windows. And I was like, come pick me up. And so Tuesday morning, fairly bright and early, we went up and did that. And so this is going to be that presentation. All right, so when we got there, this is the first, we were parking the car and everything. This is the first building that I saw. And I saw this doorway up there, and I was like, Dad, why? Why frame this out as a fancy doorway so high off the ground for a fire escape? That doesn't make any sense to me anyway. I'm very curious. Pardon me, I don't know why they would do that. And look how much they had to alter it to fit like a regular door. And moving right along, we're coming along to the building now. And there's Mary. She just walked in. Say hello, Mary.
Hello.
She's going to sit with me, I guess, while we do this tour. Maybe you can add your 2 cents if you like. Because I found an interesting discovery. So here we are coming up on the building. It's 17-something East Monument. And I brought up the... whoops, not that. I brought up the Google Earth of the building. And what's great about Google Earth is it's old. All right, and so here's the building before they started the construction that we're about to look at. All right, and so when you can't get that close to the windows, but you can see that there are windows here at or near street level, and so that's what we're gonna see when we get to the construction photos. And you can see them here. All right, and there's interesting detailing, like how deep they go, right? I mean, there's layers there. And so it was hard to get close with the fencing the way it was. This is a pretty good one. You can see they had to really blow out over here. I don't know what was going on in there. And so I went across the street, as I like to bounce around, and you get kind of a good view of it here. And so when I go to the Google Earth and I get down to the street level. Where's the blue area? Give me down there. They don't let you get that close. Ah! They don't let you get that close, but you can actually see that they're there. So they're really not below ground at the start, right? But they do have this, like this goes deep, but you can't really see it because of all the rubble in the construction. That's a good slant here. But what really, so that's kind of a little disappointing because I thought, especially the way they look here, like, oh my God, they tore it up. These were peepers, right? But one thing that I noticed because I was going over this photograph is this section up here, which has me really excited. Look at this. They busted this away here, and look at how old this layer looks.
That's probably because it was a fort number 7.
Fort number 7, you think? You know, I said Mary here knows everything about the history of Baltimore. Unbelievable resource going forward. I highlighted just before you walked in. I was highlighting your page. I swear to God. So that was kind of disappointing. But to see this old layer here, you know, because I don't know the date they put on this building, but it's definitely old. And you know, and I wanted to give it. You don't get a sense of the hill. You know, that Monument Street is a hill, and you can't really. It doesn't. Oh, how do I? Let's back up. Let's pull back that lens here. Come on. Filled with hate, this thing. You can't really tell that that's a significant hill, but it's pretty steep. And we're gonna go on up the hill, and I couldn't. It was so bright. Remember, it was so bright. You couldn't really get in on. You couldn't really see so well, and I can't really make it. Did you get a good picture of this seal?
I didn't, but that is Mr. Stewart's property, and it's now the Bloomberg Mental Health Building.
Bloomberg Mental Health Building. Okay. Mr. Stewart, what's the history of the Stewarts there, Mary, real quick?
The Stewarts somehow got a Calvert child and adopted him. And
a Calvert? Really?
Yes. I looked him up last night.
All right, we'll figure that one out. And so, couldn't really, and this is just another picture of it, couldn't really get in it because I couldn't see the screen of my phone. It was so bright, you know. So it was hard to get some of these pictures, especially as we go forward. And so this is a great walk, and I'm going to stop it. And I did a video walk. I'm going to edit that in and then pick this back up. But you can see it travels down to a point, you know. And we're going to do that walk. So let's stop it. So Mary and I were already plotting our adventure for today, but we're going to get back to the video here. And this is awesome having a guest on the Mud City show. All right, so this is the building that's across the street. I don't really focus on it in this presentation. And I'm really going to try to fly through because there's so much. And I did set a timer. We'll see how much we get to in the timer. So bright, could not get a good picture of this church. It looks amazing. So on a different day, we'll have to go and get in on this one. And these guys were great. They were digging out a row that they, there was construction, and we were telling them what we were doing and asking them. And that one guy did say he did find sublevels.
They really said just not at this space.
Right, yeah, not at this site. And one of the guys was like, we were telling him we're trying to write a different history for Baltimore, and he was like, I'd like a different history for Baltimore. So as we're driving along, we just, absentmindedly stumbled across this church, and we had to stop, right, and take pictures. And I found out a little bit about this church, but it was so bright, the sun was so angry, and so look at it, look how angry that sun is. So these pictures were hard to take because I couldn't really see, but look at what's going on up here, all right, in this tower there, and then I have another picture of the other tower.
The side of that building is amazing, and we didn't.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna we're gonna do we'll use Google Earth because it's really around the corner from the Hopkins site. So that's pretty. I mean, just look at that. And so when I did research on the when I did research on the building, this is the, where's my mouse? There it is. This is the St. Wenceslaus Church in Baltimore, right? And there's its pinned location in the city, and it's on 2111 Ashland. There's kind of interesting Ashland, right? Ash is symbolic with the Christians. Yeah. So, right, these were Bohemian immigrants, right? And I did bring up a little bit on Bohemia. Bohemia plays an important part in the history of Baltimore, and Mary will confirm that for me. But it says that the church was founded in 1872 by these Bohemian immigrants. But the groundbreaking was in 1914, and it was completed in 1914. No way. I mean, because they didn't groundbreak in January or February in Baltimore. I mean, no, right? And then when you see, the building as it is, right? Just even from the outside, it would take a long. But then when let's go. So being me, I start pulling all the doors. I want to get in. And this building here had a sign on it that said rectory with office hours that were current. So I walked right in. And there was a lovely lady behind this desk, which I have. Let's get to it here. Oh, this is the portal. And I did look this up. This means gateway to God, or the doorway to God. Yeah, something like that. And look at this. This is just so impressive. And to me, my mental image is of like vibrational sound energy spilling out of these in their original intention. All right, so it's tough. I didn't get a good picture of her little space there, but she was behind glass, right? I mean, it was, right?
It's not a good neighborhood.
Right. And so she asked how she could help, and I said, really interested in old churches, and we saw this, and we're taking pictures. Is there any way we could get inside? And she said, just hold on a minute. And so we were waiting, and I love this tile floor, and I get a close-up of it. I might change my profile of it too, because it gets really hypnotic. I mean, you could get, almost like an Escher, that kind of thing. All right, there was this great stained glass waiting in the this vestibule area of the rectory, and again the 2111, which is 3 times 2 could be 6. You could work your gematria in 80 different ways. I don't know. So sure enough, his name was Dwayne, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, Dwayne came. The gentleman came out as like the caretaker of the property, I guess, and he was happy. And I was like, "Man, watch! He's gonna fall over himself to show us this church." And we found this picture of this Pope John something, right? And I focused in. Look at his hand here. Like, isn't that like he's cupping something?
He's hiding something.
He's hiding something in his left hand here. Why is that important for this painting? Crazy. And now at this point, I wasn't aware that this was. I knew this was going to be a Catholic church, but I wasn't aware that it was what it was. At
A
this point,
Jesuit
you right?
Roman Catholic
Did you know
church.
at this point that it was Jesuit?
No.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the doorway into the church. And here's like your regular people-sized door, you know, which is probably 7 feet. So just the height of the doorway, the archway, because they connect the two buildings. I don't know. They're two different structures. All right, and here we walk in. Like if we were to get in the front of the church, this is how we would come in. And there's a bunch of XX pictures here. I have to go quick because there's so many pictures. And I mean, we just went nuts in here. So this is the altar area. And, oh, I didn't bring it. Where was that skull?
In the left-hand corner.
I
As soon as you walked in, it was in the left in the corner.
I didn't get a picture. Mary found a picture of found a skull in there, and I'll show you the page. Do you care if we share the mud flood page? Okay, well, we will share the mud flood page as well. So there's lots of great stained glass and all kinds of things to look at, and we're going to go around and around really quick. And Mary, of course, immediately struck up a conversation with Dwayne, and because I'm already thinking, you know, because as you know, when I bounce around from buildings, people are, when you show an interest, they show an interest. And you walk into an old church and you ask them about their church, they fall over themselves to talk about their church because they're proud of it. Right? And I got the sense that Dwayne was a member of this church, right? He went to service.
Asked,
yeah,
yes.
Right? And
I had to make sure.
Yeah. And so I knew I was going to get to talk about like the basement and things like this. And so I'm wandering around taking pictures, and Mary starts going in on the Jesuits, right? Because she realized, because there's so much on the inside of the church, there's so much Jesuit imagery that and I'm like, oh no. He's not going to show us the sub-basement now. Mary, he was going to show us the sub-basements. Because here's where she's like, I asked her if she saw I didn't bring up I'll have to do an add-on. I want to bring up the somatic and because I tried to echo my laugh in there and see if I could bring it up on my guitar tuner app and see what frequency or see what, key my laugh and the echo would be in. I thought that would be a fun experiment, but it was hard to come up with it felt too forced, inside a church to create a laugh. I'm going to have to bring like a comedian in with me. But you can see clearly the IHS, which is just Latin initials for Jesus. We looked that up, right? Which I thought was interesting. And there is the pipe organ under there, but we couldn't get up there. It was locked. But it is open for service, so we can, if we ever want to go to service. So I'm just going to cruise around fast because there's so many other things to do in this presentation. The dome was amazing. And that is another thing I want to bring up about less than a year. The acoustic properties that these churches have, with their domes and their deliberate shape and the portals and everything. There's no way the level of accuracy needed. And these little bodiless rather, these winged heads are all over the ceiling, and they're not all the same. So there's a story with them. And these painted archways so high, Look, this is the Burger King King. That's King Gambrinus is back. He's inside. And see, interesting the way they're dressed. Like, why is his arm outside of this sleeve there? Or is that a girl? Is that a woman? I don't know. Interesting. Who knows the stories? And there's a pamphlet. This pamphlet goes over all of the, like, if you want to look at this, America, I don't know. It doesn't say anything about the history of the building of the church, but it talks about all the relics and stuff that are inside. It's absolutely amazing in here, right? Here's a doorway that's on the altar. And that's me. There I am.
And all those little stars have IHS painted in the center of them. So it was everywhere. They did not leave it out.
Yeah, they're not hiding. And there was interesting, in your conversation with Dwayne, he was saying how hard it is to find pastors, to keep pastors in these churches, and that this church shares one with 3 other churches. So this picture's great, going back and showing the signature up here. But I want to show these. I actually get up close on this one, but for some reason I either didn't see it, or I don't know why I didn't, get up on this one. But I want to get close to it because this is the best detail I can get. There's something going on here. I love this crest, and did you get that?
No, I didn't get that one.
But I got the other one, which is amazing. Did you see the other one?
Yeah, I got that.
Did you get that one? Oh, one thing I wanted to mention too. You see, there's a bunch of these. These are your confessionals. And what was the other one called? There was confessional, and there was
A reconcile.
The reconcile, right?
The reconciliation.
There's 6 of these booths inside this church, and to me, that's amazing to think that if you were designing this church with confession in mind and building confessionals, the number of people you think are going to come to your confessionals has got to be really high. 2 on each side with a priest in the middle. That's 6 priests. 12 confessors if you have all these things open at once. So you designed your church to have 12 confessions in it at any given time. To me, this is the function of these little areas was something else, and they converted it, and that's their excuse, right? For whatever machine purposes this structure had, and they converted these rooms to confessionals. Oh, and I wanted to focus. This is not the best picture. Hopefully, I get one. The tile work here. You can see this is the like the double. There's double 6s that go out. I have a better picture, but it's like a hurricane symbol in there. The double 6, which I thought was interesting. This one has her eyes closed, but I thought these little winged heads. I don't know about them. This one has her eyes open. And so just going through fast because there's more to this adventure. And here's the other side, right, Mary? Mm-hmm. Right? And you got your all-seeing eyes in there. This looks like a money symbol to me. You got your compass and your square in here. There's no secrets on this one, right?
Money and mental manipulation. That's what we're about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They got the clover over the door. And again, how they had to modify the size of these doors. They weren't intended. Their original intention wasn't doorways for people to walk through, or at least people of our size. I don't think, amazing work on this door. It's so tall, right? Looking back at the church. And again, I can't take the time to go. There's a lot going on in this. This is after I guess they've just taken Jesus off the cross here, right? You got somebody's checking his pulse. But there's like creepy stuff going on. Like he's got the key and he's holding something here. There's Masonic stuff going on with the hand gestures, right? And they're slipping each other something up here. So this is an interesting relief. That bears some looking into. Showcase the dome work. Just amazing, right? And now we're back outside. And I didn't take, I think I edited out some of this. I forgot what this building was, Mary. What was this one that had the 1915?
That was St. Vincent's Asylum.
This is St. Vincent's Asylum. I didn't keep a good front because for
but
time.
You got the church in the back.
The church, right? Yeah, the tower's back there, right? And you can see you can see the age of the crown here. That copper or whatever, the patina on it. This is an old row home that's getting demolished, and I like seeing this. You could see the way they connected them, right? Because they were at one time all open. They were just giant warehouses that get converted to row homes, right? So you can see the way they filled in the insides in like 12 foot. They just measured out 12 feet, slapped a wall in there with some stairs and a couple rooms, a couple doors, measured another 12 feet, and then a wall right down from front to back. And they just sectioned off these giant warehouses and made them homes. And I just, it's interesting what you can learn, seeing the inside like this. I think that's fascinating. And I do get a little bit of the top here. You can see the age, like this formstone or whatever is garbage, but look, this brick looks ancient, right? And the balls up top, which I believe were metal plated and probably conducting that free energy, through these warehouses or if even when they were individually metered out for homes. All right, this is another and now we've left and we're on our way. We're out of the church now. Mary's first experience inside a Jesuit church. And we're cruising around Baltimore, and now we're just going to go kind of fast because This is like a preview of things to come, and the way that, with Mary's help, the way Mud City and her pages are going to develop. And her pages are amazing sources of information. Again, as I said right at the beginning of the show, everybody should go check out her pages. Look, I mean, this one here with the, and again, it's really hard to get a sense of, we're coming up to we're going up a hill here, and you can see the high stairway that they created with, their columns and stuff. Now, I don't know that that is the original design of this building. And now this spire, I hope I get up a little bit closer. Look at the spire on this church. I mean, look at the top of that thing. You want to talk about tech. I mean, come on. What street is this, do you think? What street are we on here, do you think?
I'm not even sure.
Oh, I didn't go back. Let's go back to Google Earth and show the side of the church. So we'll let Google Earth. We'll show you how close that church is to the Johns Hopkins. And again, there are no coincidences with, we're gonna get, eventually I'm gonna get into the history of the Quakers, because I think the Quakers are, even more important. Like the Jesuits are almost like the public front for the Quakers. That's the way I'm looking at it. I'm not even gonna lie about that. Ashland, right?
Mm-hmm.
What? All right. Moving slow here. Where did it go? Did it take us?
Mm-hmm.
There it is. Here's the side of this one. All right, I jumped ahead too much, but in the picture show. But yeah, here's the side of it. Just so impressive, this church, right? It was really. And so some of these this is where I think like the confessionals were. They're cut into these, right?
It could be.
Right, and that was like, so whatever original purpose this area had for the church, they just converted it to the confessionals, right? And these were probably all, there's 6 of them in there, But it's a really, really big structure, right? So that's kind of fun. But yeah, I don't know what street we're on here. But this might be the best one I get of the spire here. And we'll get it, but believe me, this church will be, focused on eventually. Because we have a couple of these in Baltimore, these really nice ones like that. And this one's pretty much just like across the street from it. I think we get a little closer to this one. But again, the sun, the angry sun. All right. Yeah, I mean, these stone churches, not even brick ones. There's so many of these stone ones in Baltimore, and I don't know about, and it has to be true in a lot of these older cities. You can just, anytime I see that, it just, going down a hill. Here's the tree growing out of the chimney. I thought that was great. Because you look at the building it's on, these windows here. I think that's amazing. All right. And I found this series. I don't remember. See, we'll have to backtrack and find out what street this was. But I saw these windows, and this is moated out here.
That's across the street from the Basilica.
This is across the street from the Basilica?
Mm-hmm.
So we're by the library?
Yeah, that's right across the street from the library.
Come on now. And I like this one. This one really gives a good, you can see the dissension, and if you were to, like, walking along the sidewalk, you could peer over this, and it's an alley.
Well, the priceless story to that piece of property is there was a hotel there that the Basilica didn't like being there, so they knocked it down and built that.
Okay. So that's the story.
That's the story.
Here we go. More like they just put brick over whatever was there and called it a new building. That's the way I'm gonna, we gotta get up close on this one. Oh, there's our timer too. So let's see how fast we can skip through the rest here. Again, just a preview of some of the buildings that are gonna get focused on. I wanted to show these These reliefs are all over the side of this building. And this is only one side. There's 4 of these women, right? And this is, again, we're looking at a Liberty kind of, goddess Columbia holding this torch, this giant torch, or whatever that it could be, right?
Sharing the light.
Yeah, right? And there's 4 of them on just this one side that we get. And so I have to go up and get in on all of these and tell the stories of them, because here they are. I got just a couple. They all go all down this side as well. So more stories to decode. All right, giant doorways in these buildings. Yeah, that's it. Because I think I'm now back to the beginning. What is this? Oh, I did take some video. I did the whole thing. But I'm not gonna show it all. Oh, why not? The last 2 minutes. Okay, we're gonna end the video with a little tour here of this is the whole church inside. St. Wenceslaus. And you know what? I wanted to go into who he was, who the saint was, and all of that. I have to do a tack on, because we should get a move on.
Well, there's a list. I mean, there's a saint in every window.
Yeah. Oh, nice. There's Mary and Dwayne. There's Mary blowing my opportunity to get into the sub-basements. Yeah. See those winged heads watching over us every minute we're in there.
I'll give them this story on what blew your basement.
Yeah, tell me. Tell them.
When
Tell
I
us.
asked about the confessional, because I have never been into a church, and I asked about the confessional in the other room, he tried to explain the difference. And when he explained what you did in a confessional, I replied back, that sounds like blackmail. Because all I do is study Jesuit priests, and for them to hear everything about you and then leave the confessionals, they could take it out in public.
Right there, I said something like, "You're the best," because I can hear what you're talking about.
So he got a little defensive with that.
But so we have a lot of fun, and we're about to go out and have more fun right now. So
we're leaving churches today, and we are finding old forts.
Old forts in Baltimore today. So, all right, I hope you guys had fun with this one. Please, everybody take care of yourselves and each other. And until the next one, cheers, guys.